All right, Gaza War Day 232. You guys know I wasn't planning to be here today, but you probably know something about what happened today. Two massive, massive news items today. I'm sure there will be more details in the coming days, but I'll get to them in a second. Let's do our usual go around. There were announcements by Egypt of the opening of Rafah and Kerem Shalom crossings, imminent opening of both. I'll believe it when I see it. I think it could be some kind of agreement that Egypt has made, but the announcement was a joint announcement by Egypt and the US. And I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I don't think Egypt and the US can open Kerem Shalom without Israel, and I don't think right now Israel is still in control of the Palestinian side of Rafah. So I don't know. I don't think I believe it. And unless something changes on the ground, this is what we watch on this channel. We watch what's on the ground. We don't watch what well, we have to watch what people announce too, but we don't believe what people announce until we see it happen. So there's another interesting thing on the no end in sight file in the sense that Hamas negotiators and I guess anonymous officials have said to local media that the Israelis are apparently trying to reopen negotiations through the mediators, and a Hamas negotiator said officially, we don't need more negotiations. If Israel wants, they can implement the agreement that we already agreed to before the invasion of Rafah. If they don't like that agreement, then we don't really need we don't really have anything to talk about, which is a more confident tone and fitting with what Nasrallah said yesterday. If you watched the sit rep yesterday, there's a general, the last few statements that I've heard that we've seen from the resistance leaders have all been along this line. They've all said things like, we want to end the war. We would be happy to end the war for the sake of our people, our suffering people. But we're ready to fight. For as long as you want to fight, we'll fight. So it's not a plea. It's not a plea for peace that they're making. It's a signal that they want to end the war on just and um, honorable terms, I guess is the word I was looking for. Honorable terms. So on the war front, we have announcements and videos of a new sniper operation in the Netzarim corridor. You may have seen the sniper operation video, and there has been a re-invasion of Jenin. John Elmer and I talked a couple days ago about the invasion of Jenin, the battle that lasted 46 hours, after which the Israelis withdrew. Well, the Israelis have basically invaded the whole West Bank. Jenin, Nablus, Kalkilia, Ramallah, armed settlers invading Bethlehem. So all over the West Bank is all on fire tonight. The Israelis have invaded and are fighting everywhere, clashing everywhere. The Palestinian Authority killed another resistance leader in Tulkarm and arrested another leader. So they are keeping tensions high and doing their best to try to bring about a civil war on the Palestine side. And the resistance is continually counseling patients, continually saying, don't do this, but generally continuing to just take the blows rather than go all out in a war with the Palestinian Authority, which um, the, a war between the resistance and the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank would, of course, mainly benefit the Israelis. So they don't want to do that. They don't want to fall for that. But that means taking blow after blow from the Palestinian Authority as they have been. Also, Yemen. I didn't mention yesterday, but I could have mentioned yesterday because these operations happened yesterday. Yahya Sari, the military spokesman of the Ansarullah, the so-called Houthis, the resistance in Yemen, they have announced that they, as part of their phase 4 of their operations against Israel, to support Gaza and to try to coerce Israel into accepting an end to their aggression, they announced that um, they have hit an Israeli ship. I think it was called the Essex, and a Greek ship. I guess it had a Greek flag anyway. A lot of the ships of the world, especially in that part of the world, but all over the world, are have Greek flags. They're registered in Greece. Greece is the shipping superpower of the world. And so they hit that ship and they said, "We already told you we were not letting anybody go." And that was their Mediterranean phase of their operations against Gaza. So, all of which is just the introduction for the two massive events of the day. The first one may not be as massive as it looks. Basically, Yair Netanyahu, the son of the Israeli Prime Minister, posted a video on his social media account of a masked resistance, I mean, not resistance, of a masked reserve fighter, a reserve soldier in the Israeli army, basically saying, Yoav Gallant, you should resign. You don't have what it takes to victory. We want to kill everybody in Gaza, all their children and everybody that have ever hurt an Israeli, and we'll show you how real Jews win victory. We'll show you what victory looks like. We only follow the Prime Minister, Netanyahu. We don't follow you, Yoav Gallant. And if you don't give us a clear victory, then we will not listen to you. So, and he actually used the term. He said, do you want a military coup? So that video is circulating. It was apparently deleted from Yair Netanyahu's account, but it's circulating. The cat is out of the bag, and that video is going all over the place. What does that video mean? I don't know. It might not mean that much. It might be a flash in the pan. It might be just another video, just another Israeli video of an Israeli soldier behaving in an utterly indisciplined way for the cameras. It could be, I think it's the structure of the video and the structure of the statement as an ultimatum to Yoav Gallant, particularly. It has the same structure as the press conference that Benny Gantz gave a few days back, where he said, unless Netanyahu has a clear plan for getting the hostages back, etc., and how to govern Gaza after the war, unless Netanyahu does all of these things by June 8th, I'm going to go, and Benny Gantz says, I'm going to quit the war cabinet, and then the war cabinet will fall apart. So I think I mentioned, though, that Benny Gantz's conditions are basically asking Netanyahu to do what Netanyahu's doing anyway. I don't think there's anything much different that Netanyahu is going to do, even if he follows Benny Gantz. Benny Gantz doesn't want peace. Benny Gantz doesn't want coexistence. Benny Gantz wants genocide, just like Netanyahu does. He just maybe wants to be the one running it. I don't know. So that was not a that was a nothing. That was nothing significant, except to show the disunity within Israel and among at the top in Israel. And this could be as little as that. It could be as little of a big deal, like as not a big deal as just an answer, some kind of Netanyahu camp answer to Benny Gantz's press conference, and posted by his son, sounds roughly the same, hits the same beats rhetorically as Benny Gantz's press conference. So maybe that's all it is. On the other hand, some of the things that he said are very concerning, and he says basically he's threatening a mutiny, and it does fit with the analysis that I have that the Israeli society and military are in a state of slow deterioration that's going to at some point fall apart completely because of a lack of cohesion, a lack of discipline, and why at this point, given what they're doing, they're out there firing their weapons into anywhere. They're out there getting picked off by Palestinian resistance snipers, getting ambushed, getting their armor destroyed. We've said this so many times. We've been watching this happen in so many videos that there's no what like there doesn't seem to be much benefit to following military discipline. They don't seem to have it. And so at some point, you're going to start seeing things like this. If you see them taking proud pictures of burning libraries and fooling around with women's underwear, why not start making videos of how we're not going to follow orders we don't like and how we're going to have military coups if we don't like what we hear and if our leaders don't give us what we expect? Why not? Why, when, at what point does this kind of expectation of being coddled, no matter how heinous your behavior, why does that, once that starts, why would it stop with military discipline? Why would you then decide, follow a commanding officer if you don't respect your commanding officer? So it's really, it could be something very, very profound and the beginning of the collapse that I think is coming. Or it could just be a little political game played between a couple of ministers in the cabinet and Netanyahu, and they're playing it out in on public media via press conferences and videos. We'll see. Time will tell which of those it is. Neither one bodes well for Israel, but the deeper one bodes very bad and is happening faster than I would have predicted. Now, now we come to the big news of the day. Now that we've covered all our other bases, and that is that in Abu Obaida, the spokesman for Qassam Brigade's Hamas's armed wing, announced today that he announced it in a he built up to it, not unlike this video too. He talked generally about the failures of the Israeli military in Gaza, and then he said, "We lured them into a tunnel where we attacked them, we ambushed them, and then we ambushed the people who came after." He said, "And we left them all either killed, wounded, or captured." And he used the word captured. And they showed a video of them dragging a body. Maybe someone's already dead, the person that they captured, and we don't know who actually they captured alive. But if they captured new hostages, this is or new prisoners of war, I guess, would probably be a more appropriate term since this is someone invading. But if they did take new prisoners, military prisoners, that would be, I think, a first since October 7th. And that is that's gonna be psychologically devastating in Israel. It's going to create more polarization. It's going to produce an image of even greater failure. And um, and I think there will be more dramatic acts by Israel, although they're doing as dramatic acts as they are capable of. I think they're doing whatever they can, but they will be driven into some kind of additional insanity by this, I think. And it's going to be it's going to be a major blow to them that they have had another capture. And it looks like, based on a few things that I've seen online, Ali Jazini, who's a analyst based in Lebanon, he showed some of the weapons that were captured, and the weapons he says are like silenced 9mm. I don't know, a silenced 9mm Scorpion. I don't know guns very well, but he said this is not a normal weapon that they have. It's a weapon that's great for fighting in tunnels. And so he says, I don't have any information, but he says, just purely speculation. This could be a very elite unit for this kind of hostage rescue, or it could be a mercenary unit, maybe foreigners, maybe Americans, special forces, but it was something out of the ordinary in terms of what they were doing. And one of the viewers of this channel wrote me a couple of messages and kind of linking what happened. If you followed, I didn't cover it on this channel in the sit reps. I didn't really talk about it in um, on social media. I didn't even really follow the story very closely because I thought it all seemed sort of fake to me. But there was stories of how the Israelis victoriously brought back corpses of Israeli captives taken on October 7th. And there was a story about the parents of one of the captives, one of the female captives, who said, "Oh, she looked exactly like she did in life," and so on. And yet another social media account I followed said, "Oh, she was probably in an Israeli freezer all of these months and was given back to her family at an opportune moment in terms of narrative management." I don't know. That was kind of what I assumed was going on with the supposed finding of these corpses. But um, what this listener suggested is that these the intelligence that was fed to the Israelis that led to these liberations of these Israeli corpses um, that were then touted as major victories and, you know, possibly opening the door to actually rescuing some of their hostages alive were actually fed to the Israelis by the Palestinian resistance in order to get conduct this operation against the elite hostage rescue unit in a tunnel. And that could very well be, there's connecting all of these, there's all kinds of ways to connect all of these dots, but that's certainly one of them. The idea that there was a counterintelligence operation feeding the Israelis information that led to them putting together an elite team that then got captured and destroyed in this tunnel in Jabalia, which again is a pretty devastating. Uh, it's going to be a pretty devastating piece of news for the Israelis, and will no doubt lead to an additional, you know, psychological breakdowns. So those are the bits of news for tonight. Unexpected sit rep and the connecting of the dots. How at least one listener thought of. I mean, these are either these are between extremely newsworthy or you know, real game changers. So I had to come on tonight and do this video. I'll stop there. Like and subscribe, comment, and tell me what you think. Do you see the dots being connected that way? Do you think that Hamas fed the Israelis false information over a period of days and weeks, leading to this ultimately culminating in this operation? And what do you think? What do you think the reactions are likely to be? Um, let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll see you in the next one, probably tomorrow.